Top of morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If. What if Deku was scared of his own powers? So, this version of Zuko that I'm creating right now is going to be super overpowered. Like, he has the powers of infinity, zero, and yeah. He has so much power that even he's even scared of it. So, let's begin. And I am adding Zumi into this what if because I really want to, keep her in my stories series. Plus, one of his powers that has that he can use, he can talk normally, but if he yells too loud, then he's like Black Bolt. Bam! Yeah. So, yeah, Zuko. So let's begin. Zuko and Zumi been born, and and then at age of 4, Zuko and Zumi went to the quirk doctor. The quirk doctor tells Zumi that she has quirk and she can become a hero. But because as she basically tells, so Zumi is happy about it. And then the quirk doctor ends up basically telling Zuko that he's quirkless and should be not become a hero. So, and here's the thing. I will have to explain what different arc stuff do. So, this is the one where the people try to go underneath his skin, underneath Zuko's skin. So, yeah, Zuko ends up he could see why the quirk doctor tells him that he's quirkless, because Zuko's power. Because there's a tier list. Quirkless is on the bottom. Quirk's on the top. Or actually above that. And powers. There's three tiers thing. Quirkless are more common. Or actually uncommon. Quirks are more common. And then but the powers, like abilities are more super legendary rare. Yeah, so but Zuko could see why he's in the... Because after that, his parents abandoned him. The quirk doctor tells him that, after that, where he tells the quirk doctor... the quirk doctor tells him that the part that I said that you can't become a hero, Zuko, was to get your hopes down so that because you don't need a quirk. You know why? as he has similar face to like Todoroki. That. So, like expression. What do you mean? You're in a powerful, like powers, actual powers category. As Zuko's eyes widen, what powers do I have? Well, you have powers of infinity and zero. As Zuko's is basically the most powerfulest one. You could kill all of us. Even the thought of him killing everybody is too much for him. So when he didn't talk to anybody. It was like he dropped off of the face of a planet. And yeah, he didn't talk to Bakugo, Todoroki, Ochako, or anyone. Because it was age of 5 and after the quirk thing. So, because no one knows where he went. As he's in the abandoned warehouse, I was crying about thinking about that. Like him, as he's scratching his face or sobbing his eyes out. As he's like that pony, I'm trying to zoom in. Like her, as she's like, or as he's trying to, because he's scared of even thinking about he can't even function his own body because of how much pain he would have gone through if. So, yeah. He's sobbing like nobody's business. His pain growing. Just imagining him having to deal with all that pain, the sorrow of losing his friends, his family, everyone he cares about. But, yeah. So, So that everyone didn't care her about, or actually one person cared, was Inko. But she hasn't seen him for years. Because how much pain he's going through. If Inko knew how much pain Zuko is going through, she would have been there in a heartbeat with, yeah. Because she cared about her, she still cares about her son. Because everybody else just abandons him and calls him weakling. So, yeah, Ochako was dating Bakugo because she was dating Zuko, but then the quirkless thing. But then so she dumps him to go for Bakugo. And yeah, the Bakugo hasn't seen him in years, and yeah. So, time skip. to basically to All Might versus All for One. Because I'm skipping over the boring stuff. Like Zumi getting one for all from All Might and like, yeah. So then he goes over to, or so yeah. And Zuko goes to the Quirkless school. And he doesn't actually visit with anybody. He didn't even make friends. But everyone sees him as a most quietest person. As everybody's like, man, he's... Yeah. So then after... So now we move on to All Might versus All for One. All Might was down. Or he is still standing. But he wants to throw a punch again. But All for One... But his body rejected it. So... As All for One was like haunts him more and more, and it's time for him. It seems like our game will end in my victory. And that when Zuko saw that part, he knows that part, that when he hears it, it means to him that All for One is about to kill All Might. Sorry. And so when it terrified him, like he's so much that his powers took control of him. As buildings start to like crack and earthquakes and like all that stuff. As they could feel the aura of the guy, or basically Zuko looks at All for One, or should I say his powers, or of Zuko's Infinite Zero looks at All for One and says, "You will not kill my friend, or you shall not kill anyone today, because you know why? I will." As he bends buildings to look like arms and grabbing the villains and about to like, as floor became lava. Yeah. As Zuko says to All for One, if you can't take a heat, get out of the kitchen. As, yeah, Zuko, this version of Zuko's powers is more powerful than anyone. So he beats around All for One. And he did kill the League of Villains ones without any hesitation. And or he was about to kill Toga because Toga's and Twice were about to die last. But the heroes flew up and like opened the guys or the buildings' hand and letting them both free. Go, go, go. As they fly, or they basically went far away from the buildings still. And so, yeah. So then Zuku's power killed All for One. As when he regained his consciousness, he looked up and he saw All for One's helmet. Skeleton remains. And when he saw that, he had tears coming down his face as he didn't realize that he just took a life of a villain. As he screams so loud that even the entire city was about to be in ruins. So Zumi, he runs up without hesitation as she runs up to Zuko, or to her brother, and hugs him. It's gonna be okay, Zuko. You're okay. Just as he can't believe that he just took a life of, as he had tears coming down. You're okay, Zuko. As All Might and everyone's reactions to him is like, hey, man, with that much power this boy has, as All Might thinks to himself, this boy has, he might be the one who would kill us all off. And everyone can't believe how powerful he is. Everyone was like, wait. Because everything went back to normal after he regained his consciousness before. And then when he saw All for One's skull, or should I say skeleton remains, he was about to turn it into ruins about 5 seconds if he didn't get stopped by his sister in time. So, yeah. As Zumi, yeah. His power was so powerful that he even changed the moon to have a sentinel kind of personality. Like the one that you see on your screen. Yeah, that type. Yeah. Because every power that he has, he's more powerful than anyone. So Zumi hugs her brother. Let's go home, brother. As he says, okay, as he still has tears coming down his face. As everybody can't believe. As when they got back, when Inko saw her son, and as she walks up and hugs him, you're gonna be okay. As Zuko, or so Asashi was like, because he watched the news with Inko and tells him that tells Zuko that he's apologizes. And Zuko tells, or actually, he went to bed, like his own bed, because how much pain he went through. And so the next day, the pro heroes like All Might and Eraserhead, they had their meeting. What should we do with this kid, Zuko Midoriya? We already have his sister going to UA. So it will be fitting for him to go to UA too. Like, to train his powers. And based off of what I learned, or I did some research, as Nezu says, to whom basically to everybody, that boy has the actual powers of infinity and zero. So we need to train him how to use his powers. But I think yeah. So he goes to UA with his sister so that as when Bakugo and Todoroki recognizes him because they know who he is. They're a friend. Because when Zumi told them that I think the quirk doctor had a reason why. When I believe that my brother has he's not in the quirkless aisle. He's in the above us quirks. He's in the powers category. That was before All for One versus All Might arc. So yeah. So Zuko, when they witness his powers, they went from haha, you're quirkless to, oh, crud, okay, yeah, let's be friends. We're still friends, okay? As Bakugo says. Okay? But because how, paranoid when he's around other people, and except for his sister, because, so, he usually sits out of the classroom so that Eraserhead's he knows that how much pain Zuko is going through. As he's basically, as Zumi says, you don't need to be out here, brother. They know how powerful he really is because So he's the same thing what Ares is. All scared and alone in the dark thing. So that's funny, actually, because a time skip, Zuko learns how to control his powers. But he still has, like, a lot to be. So then So his powers are more powerful than anyone in the universe. So time skip to All Might verse, or no. So Zumi and so it was during the overhaul thing, and overhaul turns into a monster, and Zumi had, or actually Aries and Zuko were, they basically, as Aries could sense, and that Zuko is similar to her. Like, she's literally, as she goes right past the overhaul and went right towards Zuko and hugs him and tells him that you're not alone. And overhaul's like, get back here, you run. And Zuko's as everybody knows, or actually, because how powerful Zuko really is, every villain, or including like Overhaul, when he looks over, he's like, you're a weakling. As he's about to use his quirk, but then as Zumi walks right, or no, actually hits, like drop kicks Overhaul into a wall, as he says, don't touch my brother like that, you creep. I know, as he says, I know that you're still stunned from you seeing someone, you took someone's life, but that's in the past. I know it still haunts you, Zuko. As Aries could, when she heard that Zuko's was lying, as Aries walks up, and she did hug him because, she sees him as her own brother too. And, so then Overhaul's like, get out of my way. As he like grabs he turns into a monster, big monster. As Aries, or Zumi grabs him, Aries, and runs, like basically jumps over Homer, or gets out, as she just lets her brother die. Because the building, or the pipe went right through his chest. Like that. Like the part, that scene from Attack on Titan, where Aaron and gets impaled by a wooden stick. Yeah, basically, it's a wooden stick. So So as she's scared out of her mind, Azuku's Anzumi has had doubts about her, about she's about to die, just like her brother. But then Zuko's brotherly instincts kicks in and snaps him out of being super scared. As he embraced the power, as the beam of light shot out of there, as he comes out of the destroyed Ben, as his voice becomes deeper, as the whole, like, basically, because how powerful he is, Zuko literally, when all for one, or no, Overhaul tried to, like, his body couldn't even move. Why can't I move? As he turns himself around and sees the most overpowered person, as he says in a deep voice, "You shall not hurt my little sister like that." Or should I say my sisters like that? As he basically embraced it. As he grabs all for one, or no, Overhaul's limbs and lifted him up in the air. As he's like, it still bothers me about me taking a villain's life. But no one should ever take my family's lives away from them. As he could tell that his sister, his biological sister, was dating Kosuke Bakugo, actually. And no, I'm not talking about Ochako. I'm talking about Zumi. And actually, Baku loves Zumi. But Ochako, wanted to pull a prank on Zuko before she even knew that Zuko had so much power. Yeah. He had so much power that even everybody's like, stay away from that kid. Stay away from him. Stay away. No. Ah! Yeah. Some of them pass out from, like, thinking about Zuko. Just some of them, like the villains that saw how he murdered All for One. That includes Overhaul. So, like, yeah, when he saw his powers, man, he was about to run for hills if he wanted to. But he's stuck in midair with each of his limbs strapped to each of the buildings. As he's about to, he says, it's time. As he used to knock you out. Oh, bam! As he knocks the Overhaul's chest. Kabam! Basically blood spewing out. Yeah, so then he's... He's now more evolved from it being a innocent, scared kid to be a most powerfulest force to be reckoned with. Yeah. So, Ochako, when she saw how powerful Zuko really gets when he's, yeah, the, basically, I'm trying to think, because I had it all scripted out in my own head, but I couldn't think of any specific way. So, after that, Overhaul went back into, like, the 5 forms. Ochako, was, trying to find Ochako real quick. Nope. When she went and asked him, like, she literally asked Zuko, if he's, like, upset at her for, like, as Zuko was still, like, he still needs to get himself together a little bit more before her. As his friends said, we're all here for you. Yeah. As Bakugo says, yeah. I mean, with your powerful powers, no one could ever stand up to you. Yeah, and I'm still scared of. And actually, he says, I used to be scared, but now I'm myself. As they know that he's, deep down, he's terrified of using his powers to actually take a life from, but, yeah. But so, Racerhead tells Zuko that they no need to do that. Or actually, let's say Nezu says, I know that it wasn't your fault, Zuko. Because it was your nervous reaction to what Overhaul said. And he just, like, cowered in the corner. It's like like, basically, Soul Eater, those, like, basically, though, like, how they were, like, had doubts moments, like, they bend their knees, they're, like, sitting. Well, yeah, Zuko ends up doing that. As Nezu's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. Hey. As the detective was there, or actually, All Might was there, and he meant that as All Might says, just to clarify, you don't need to, like, because I know that back then you didn't know how to control your powers. As they know, he's still kind of nervous. But when Ochako, when Zumi walks in and she sees her brother and she, like, hugs him, you're okay. What just happened? Well, we were trying to say, like, if it's taking, or about, he didn't know how to control the powers back then. And one of us, as All Might looks at Nezu, brings up that instance of All for One. Then he just shut it down with like, as yeah, Zumi like says, okay, what were you trying to say about like about okay, because yeah. So everybody knows that he's, as Nezu tells, taking one life is okay, Zuko. I know that it's accidental, and we all know it's accidentally, because people like with your powers always had the same thing. And so that's what we're trying to say. But you like did, or you used your powers to save All Might, so you're not in trouble for it. I know that you're still in pain, as Zuko said, or Nezu says, or All Might says. I know you're still in pain from that. So that's why we won't say that around you anymore. So, yeah. So the entire Class 1A agrees that they won't say it again around him until he's fully healed. But so after school, actually, before he was walking home, Ochako came out of nowhere, and she actually asked him out. And no, because Toga is in custody before. Ochako, this is real Ochako, not Toga version. So Zuko basically, because he knows that how much pain, or she knows how much pain he's going through. But yeah, she didn't care about that part. Or she does care about his pain, but she tells Zuko that she would rather be his girlfriend and wife thing that cares about him. As when he said sure. So then a time skip to the future where they both got married and had 2 kids. And both of them have quirks. And Zuko actually did have a quirk before. But like his powers and his quirks were, no. Yeah. So Zuko ends up basically, he did have a quirk and his powers. So Ochako, whom is his quirk mixed with Zuko's version, I know that I said he's quirkless and all that stuff, but he actually had a quirk, but his powers overshadowed it. So so basically, so both of them have, or so their kids had combined quirks, but what makes them different from one another is that Zumi has, or no, not Zumi. Their daughter has infinity, like power, and their brother has power of 0. So, like, basically, the, yeah, so then they grow up and all that stuff. I'm going to leave it off here just to have your imaginations go wild. So, just fill in the last part because I don't feel like doing this. And, nope, that's not one of them. This one. So, ooh. Hey. So have a good night or a day, depends on it. And please leave a like, share, subscribe. Peace out.